Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we're discussing a model that launched in 2004 and has become something of a modern classic. This is the Breguet Marine Chronograph. In rose gold, the 5827 BR features the 42 millimeter diameter, a case thickness of 14.3 millimeters. Lug-to-lug, it is 52.9 millimeters, and there's a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. It is definitely larger than your standard marine. It has an impressive presence. This is something that can be considered on par with the likes of the Royal Oak Offshore in the plus-sized and oversized ultra-luxury sports watch category. Many folks prefer this to the subsequent Marine Chronograph as well, so it has a bit of a nostalgia factor. Now, as you can see, it is quite large. I would not wear this on a wrist smaller than mine. My wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference, and I think to wear it well, that's really the lower limit for wrist size. Breguet does not short you the quality. As you can see, we have medium rectangular scale, dark brown alligator leather with a contrasting stitch. The side is sheer cut. There is a lot of stuffing to bolster it and add volume. On the underside, you can see calfskin, a brand new Breguet factory strap, and we have a deployant clasp here that is a snapshot single fold deployant, all of rose gold, Breguet branded, and even the strap minders used to take up excess strap length are in rose gold. Now, there's a wave motif that recurs across this watch. You could see it in the strap minders, which both feature that wave and they interlock. We have it in the shape of the buckle itself, which you can see well in profile. Note the use of both satin and polish on the buckle. There's a lot of attention to detail going on. We see the wave motif in the form of the crown guard. And then, of course, we see waves on the dial, and then waves guilloche, rose lathe cut into the rotor. But we'll talk about all of this in time. The case is gorgeous. The case is cold rolled to create this coined flank and then hand finished. The watch also features welded lugs, so the lugs are welded on, and then evidence of the weld is removed by hand to create the sharp break between case band and case flank. This is a very handmade case. The strap is held on using screws and bars, which is a somewhat more expensive but also more secure solution than using spring bars, and it is appropriate on a watch of this status and stature. We have a screw-down crown. The watch is 100 meters water resistant, and then we have a double-stepped bezel. You can see the bezel itself is quite complex. Rolling over, you can see Breguet branded crown, screw down, of course. The crown guards double as chronograph pushers in this case. So you have those little wave motifs in profile. They act as shear guards to protect the crown, but also to operate the chronograph function. Talking about the chronograph function for just a moment, it's important to note that this chronograph includes a radial minutes indicator. So we have radial 60 seconds. You're used to having seconds at the center of a chronograph, and then you're used to having a sub-register for minutes, and usually the sub-register only reads 30 minutes. Well, here we have a radial minutes indicator that can indicate 60. So as the seconds hand circulates, it advances very slowly, and that is a result of the Lemania 1350 base movement that forms the basis for Breguet caliber 583 here. Now you can see it is also a flyback chronograph, so you can reset and restart with a single push of the trigger down at 4 o'clock. You do not need to stop the chronograph first. Of course, we have 60 seconds, we have a chronograph hours register, and then we have a date. While the watch does not feature a hacking seconds function, it does feature a quick set for the date. You can see the date has a wonderfully serif intensive font that is used for the numerals. The watch features a dial that is best described as a sort of gray-brown, more gray than brown. And then we have rose gold applique Roman numerals, including a watchmaker's 4, rose gold hands, Breguet style, of course. The dial is very special. It is rose lathe guilloche, reductive guilloche performed on a rose engine, programmed and operated by a guillocheur. Now, this is a 19th century methodology for creating the rosette pattern that you see at the center of the dial, and then the vogue or wave pattern that you see outboard. There's a brushed pattern, a brushed concentric satin for the hour track. And because this is a sports watch, make no mistake, it does have luminescence. And it's easy in particular to read the first 15 minutes against the chronograph minutes hand, which you will note in very subtle fashion is loomed. Turning the watch over, you can see, although LeMania based, it's important to remember that today, LeMania is known as Manufacture Breguet, so this is effectively an in-house caliber for Breguet. The movement dates back to the 1970s, but it remains one of the best cam lateral clutch automatic chronographs made. Now you can see the rotor itself, like the dial, is made of solid gold. If you're wondering why the dial doesn't look like gold, it's because these colors are galvanized on, but the dial is a solid rose lathe cut disc of gold, and so is the rotor. You feature that same spiral wave. Maybe it's inspired by seashells, maybe it's inspired by the tumbling surf or gusting winds. Nevertheless, it is beautiful. It's an automatic winder with a 48-hour power reserve. It beats weight 8 beats per second. It pivots on 24 joules. It features a cam and a lateral clutch engagement, the flyback functionality. You can see the cam in operation. And the lateral clutch is located right under my finger. The movement is primarily machine decorated, but handsomely so. The rotor is where all the excitement is from a high horology finishing standpoint. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this Breguet Marine Chronograph.